Welcome back everyone, Ronan here. Today I just want to put together a pre-pull method that you can use. Somebody asked me midstream, he's playing honor mode and he knows I died here before and he wants to know how he can maximize the XP gain. I'm not even sure you can get the XP from these mushrooms, but this is how I would do it, especially with this build right now that I have no casters. If you want to optimize your pulls, this doesn't have to be done just here, this could be done anywhere. So if you put a barrel down, I put a toxic barrel down. Now be careful, if you do hit the enemy's hitboxes, then you will actually pull the fight. So this happens a few times, I saved. I actually go a little overboard, I put 3 barrels down. So that's gonna do some pretty big explosions. Now, you can even go above that. So there's the candle, and just in case I put a second candles. I mean, candles are reusable, they won't die. See? Now I just pulled, so I reloaded just for the video's sake. So I put the candle a little bit farther back. It doesn't need to be right next to the enemies because just to ignite the barrel once it breaks. Now Richard had asked me midstream why I was putting grenades down, and he was explaining that you could throw a grenade during the pull to cause extra effects. But I was trying to show him if you put a grenade down before the pull, same idea. If you nick the enemy's hitbox, it will pull the fight. Now it's easier to show here because the enemy is passive. If it's an enemy that is not passive, then what you want to do is be in stealth or invisible to do this. If you put grenades down, if an AoE damage occurs, it will actually explode. So you can actually use your grenades this way without having to have slingshot or pinpoint as talents, and you'll actually do a lot of damage. You can set this up for extra damage on the pull and maybe even extra effects while you're pulling. So you can set your rogue up, go put a grenade down next to a few enemies, point it where you actually want it to go, pull your rogue back. When you pull with your ranger, your mage, whatever, it'll actually give you the effect you wanted. The problem is you have to make stacks if you do this. If you just put 15 plague grenades, well, I think 15 of them will go off, which is useless because you can't disease them more than once. See, if you were to throw it, this is the range it would have. If you put it down, you get about the same range. And then toxic grenade, because I want to hit as many as possible. Now this is time consuming and requires a lot of prep, but it does work. If you're having issues with a pull, this is a really good use of your rogue. I've noticed this happening because I would charge through barrels that would have a grenade in it, and a grenade would go off. Or an enemy dropped a grenade, I would charge, and then it would go off. So just know this, if an enemy drops a grenade, you can actually use it if there's still enemies nearby. You only have to damage the barrels to make it work, because the candle is there. If you don't have a candle, you have to use a fire attack to get the maximum damage. So I'm actually going to use an explosive arrow to do more damage, but you could use a toxic cloud arrow to do a lot of damage also because you have a candle there. So you see the disease went off, an extra explosion from the grenade that was the toxic grenade. You can see the tiny charred mushrooms don't take much damage from fire, so most of your damage is going to be fire because of the explosions from the candle. Now, the smoke will stop you from seeing what's out there, but trust me, they still take damage if you throw a fireball in there. You just can't target an enemy, you have to target the floor. So, like charge, I charged in there. I didn't really care about the fire damage. And my whirlwind actually killed something. So you're still hitting them even though you don't see the damage tick. You see the charge, I'm still hitting 3 of them. I actually saw the damage there. Maybe it's because you're right next to them as it happens. And same thing, whirlwind, I'm gonna hit. And there's a lot more mushrooms there than there were before the pull started. So don't underestimate these mushrooms. You can go even further and toss more poison and more things in there. Like right now a lightning could actually maybe stun them. You can use ricochet, but you have to aim at the enemy's feet because of the smoke. Arrow spray wouldn't be beneficial in this case. And there you go. I use ricochet, but you have to use it at the mushroom's feet, or the base in this case. There's still 3 mushrooms left. Kind of impressive after all the AoE they endured. And they're level 9, and I'm level, what, 18 at this point? Maybe? And there you go. Meteor with the last kill. So this trivialized a pull that is actually pretty hard, especially if you're level 9 or 10. Now with my barbarian run, I have to get to water so I can extinguish the flames. I can't cast rain. Well, I hope this video was helpful for you. I hope that it answered your question, Jordan. I know you were there on stream. I tried to give more information as I'm watching it instead of me just doing it. Let me know if I missed anything or if there's anything you can do on top of that to even make it even bigger explosion. Now I know that we do an explosion that is bigger. If you go to the stream after this one, we set up even more, make it even more grenades. We make more of a bang. I think you actually see Nick's limbs fly off. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.